How many of you are diving in and throwing all your money in the S&P 500 in the hopes that the S&P 500 is going to go to the moon? Steven, you putting money in the S&P 500?
Nah, not so much right now.
All right, so let me read this to you. So the S&P 500 has just had 6 consecutive bull bars, longest streak in 10 years, which means the long-term bull trend is strong. And number 2, odds are high that we're going to see a multi-month pullback. Does everybody know what a pullback is? Just point down. Just draw a big red arrow down. That's a pullback. We are going to probably see a multi-month pullback before the end of the year based on these charts. And if you see that, the consolidation is going to happen in the next few months. So are you ready for that? Are you putting money in the market? Are you doing the opposite of what Warren Buffett tells you to do, which is buy low, sell high, and
don't lose money.
We don't want you to lose money. You shouldn't want to lose money. But if you're plowing money in the markets because your advisor says, oh my God, the stock market's making so much money, the average rate of return is going up, you are sheep being let off the cliff. And the lions are just going to eat your ass anyway. But let's talk a little bit about some of these, what I call garbage stocks, the AMCs, the GameStops, the ones that Reddit is driving up and everybody else is jumping on. I had somebody literally the other day, a very close friend of mine, send me a message saying, Chris, I bought AMC and I think it's going to go much higher. What do you think? I couldn't believe my ears, to be quite honest. I honestly couldn't believe this person was asking me that question. I said, don't you dare. And I said, the next question I said, do you have a gain in it? And they said, yes, I'm up, whatever it was, $10. I said, sell it and move that money somewhere safe. Move that money to 20 or 30-year treasury bonds. And nobody seems to understand why I keep talking about treasury bonds. But you know what? Maybe you guys should do some research on how treasury bonds react to the inverse relationships with interest rates. Oh, but interest rates are going up. That means treasury bonds are going down. Oh, right. Exactly what you should be buying is treasury bonds when they go down, because then when the market collapses, which it will, and the market goes down, the Fed will pull interest rates and your treasury bonds will skyrocket. Holy crap, you made a risk-free return, but nobody wants to talk about that because it's not sexy. Last time I checked, walking around naked out there isn't very sexy either, but people still do it. People still do it. Somebody from Instagram that just came in and they said, now at this time, I don't think everybody could afford to invest in Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's expensive. What, 46, 47,000. So do you think we should invest in cheap altcoins? Now that's a great question. And my answer is absolutely not. Just because Bitcoin's maybe priced out of the market for some people, it doesn't mean you can't buy fractional shares of Bitcoin. Go on Coinbase or one of these other platforms. You can buy a fraction of a coin. If I could grab my phone, I'd show you my account. I'm not buying full Bitcoins. I'm buying $100 a week of Bitcoin. And then I'm putting money in every time Bitcoin hits around 30,000. And I'm selling it at 40, which I just did. About a week ago, I sold my Bitcoin at 40. And people said, oh, why would you have sold? It's at 46. Because I follow rules. Because I follow simple rules. And we're going to talk about Bitcoin today. I got an article right here from an economist. I'm going to give you guys some good tips on what the levels of Bitcoin are so you know where to buy it and where to sell it. But you just got to look at this, man. Don't buy Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, don't buy shit coins, because I'm just going to say it. I don't really care. Don't buy these crap coins just because they're cheap. If they're cheap, just like pink sheet stocks, you might be able to buy a stock for a penny, and that is 1 penny away from being bankrupt and you being broke. So you got to really put things into perspective. You would rather buy Bitcoin or an expensive, fundamentally sound company than buy a cheap one just so that you can say, I got in. It was cheap. I could afford it. Can you afford to lose money should be the question you're asking yourself, not can I afford to buy this stock or this crap coin or whatever you want to call it. Think, people. Logic really comes in to play here. Like if you buy a pink sheet stock, chances are it's a pink sheet for a reason. Because nobody wants to buy it because it's fundamentally not sound and it's a highly speculative, risky investment. Garbage coins, highly speculative, highly risky. For some reason, though, None of these cryptos have to produce prospectuses or tell you about the risks. Like, that's coming, folks. Like, this whole wild, wild west world of crypto investing, it's going to get regulated. It already is starting. Like, this infrastructure bill will mandate that it's regulated. Trust me. Don't think that it's just going to be this wild, wild west like it is. It's not going to be. And I give it 6 months at best before they clamp down, put the ringer down, and all that stuff's going to start changing. So have your fun now. Don't lose money. And remember the rule. Buy low, sell high, and don't lose. All right, right there. Avery put up a nice comment here. I love this. Avery, I follow the rules too, Chris. I'm not rich, and I buy $100 or $200 in Bitcoin. Listen, I'm going to give you guys a tip on Bitcoin, okay? If you don't know what you're doing with investing, but you really think Bitcoin's got a future, and you know, hey, listen, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, maybe it really does. Maybe Bitcoin will be $120,000. And if you want in on that, if you're okay with losing money and you just want to dabble, do what I do. Do what Avery does. I'm not making a recommendation or a suggestion, but we put a little bit in every week or every month. You can set it up automatically. Mine, I don't have to think. I don't have to click anything. I set it up so that every week, $100 invests in Bitcoin. And I just keep buying it. I buy it whether it's high. I buy it whether it's low. It's called dollar cost averaging. If you don't know what you're doing and you want to get some exposure, do that. If 100's too much for you, heck, do $10. Put $10 a week in. Buy one less coffee a week. Buy two less coffees a week. Figure out how to make it work and do it. Stop sitting on the sidelines and asking yourself, oh, I wish I could, or I got to learn more. Just dabble, okay? But do it smart. And I don't want to go too deep into the Bitcoin thing. It's a hot topic. Everybody loves talking about Bitcoin. But if you buy into Bitcoin right now, wherever it is, $46,000 or $47,000, I want you to understand, here's the chart, right, folks? So there's the chart. This explains how and where it's going to go. So I will tell you this, okay? Let me just read you this. Let's see. Bitcoin broke the resistance of 42,000 as expected. It ran up quickly to 46,047 this morning, pushing through the resistance levels. Let me describe resistance levels. It's like a ceiling and a floor, right? There's a floor and a ceiling on every stocks and how they trend. So the resistance level is the ceiling. I want you to picture jumping in your living room on a big trampoline, and every time you jump, you hit your head on the ceiling. So you put a helmet on. So then you jump harder, and every time you jump, you break through the ceiling. And then you just keep doing it, and eventually you're going to be in your freaking attic. Well, that's how stocks work. They test the resistance. They test the ceiling, and they break through. It broke through the ceiling at 42,000. Now, once it pushed through the resistance level around its 200-day moving average, so over 200 days, this is the moving average, and then that's where it stopped. The next resistance will be a 50% retracement or pullback of the crash from 64 to 29. So here's what you should take out of that. Now, I understand this, you might not have. We're at 46,000. It's a strong level. Okay. We're either going to hit that ceiling and we're going to bounce back down. How low could we go? 29,000. Just so you know, that's the level where you could go, which means you could lose a whole hell of a lot of money. Or we could break through the 46 and run to 64, give or take a range. And then the next retracement target of 62%, around 51,000. Okay. So we can go both ways. We can go down to 29 or we can go up to as high as 51 to 64,000. So that right there should give you a little bit of insight on how this thing's trending. And it's right there. I mean, just look at the chart. Right? You guys should be able to figure this out, whether you're in TikTok, Instagram, or right here on this. There it is. I mean, how many of you are okay riding this? I'm doing this upside down, but riding this roller coaster down? Probably not many of you. Just understand that's the risk you're taking if you're investing a lot of money at these levels right now.
It's really interesting because, you know, two questions I always have with Bitcoin, and with AMC starting to accept it for movie tickets, it kind of brings up that question, you know, what is Bitcoin? Does it want to be used as a currency like that? Or does it want to be used as a value, a storage of wealth, right? You know, like what exactly is it? And then, you know, number two, what's driving those ups and downs? What's driving it to that resistance? What's driving it back down to that support? Like what's coming into play that's making it have such volatile swings so quickly? I mean, it's not earnings reports. It's not profit report. I mean, you know, profit loss. It's not, you know, it's nothing common like a stock. So it's a very interesting, experiment, right, to watch right now.
I have the answer. It is 100% investor confidence. That's exactly what's driving the markets to these levels. Look around, folks. Look at any stock in the markets outside of maybe the medical and the pharmaceuticals, but they do probably have some merit with the, the vaccines and everything. But just look at any stock. Fundamentals are out the window. Warren Buffett's not buying anything. Like, folks, listen, if you want to know what's coming, don't listen to me. Don't listen to Steven. Just open your eyes and look at where the big money's going. Look at any big company. Look at any big investor, from Warren Buffett to Bill Gates to Mark Zuckerberg to Ray Dalio to, the gentleman that The Big Short was done. Mike, his last name escapes me, but all of them are getting out of the market. They're selling large positions. Yes, maybe they're reinvesting a little bit into pharmaceutical, and you're like, oh, they're just moving. No, they know what's coming. And they understand that when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. But when there's not blood, when there's greed, that's when you run. You run. When others are greedy, you run. Okay. When others are fearful, you buy. How much fear is out there right now? Very little. It's greed, greed, and more greed. So if you want to buy into greed, well, I want you to watch it. Go on Google and type in this thing called YouTube. And when you get to YouTube, I just want you to put in herding sheep. And I want you to just watch a couple videos about herding sheep and what happens. Like the dog just drives them wherever they want. And if the dog wanted to drive the sheep off the cliff, or the horse guy and the horse wants to drive them off the cliff, very easy to do. Just point them in the direction, herd them, and say jump.
Well, Chris, we talk to people every single day on the phone, right? Our primary business is becoming your own banker, privatized banking, financial education through Money School and Money Multiplier. So I'm on the phone all day, every day with people all across the country. And it is the same conversation every time. We believe that the stock market's at all-time highs and we're going to see a correction. And most people think there's going to be a pretty hard collapse, something like the Great Depression of 1929. Most people believe that the real estate is at all-time highs and it can't sustain, and that we're going to see a bubble pop and real estate prices are coming down. So 99% of literally everybody I talk to tells me that. I don't tell them, I ask them. These are new people to our network. They haven't been watching. So if everybody's telling me that, but then guess what? I then ask them, okay, so where is your money right now going? What do they tell me? Well, I'm putting my money in a 401k. Well, I'm listening to my financial advisor. Well, I got a bunch of money in my checking account because I want to get it out of the stock market. So what are they doing? They're doing exactly what they were told to do by the mainstream, right? By, your traditional ways. So if you know that there's going to be a collapse, there's going to be a bubble pop, why are you continuing to do what you've always done that is not going to turn out well? It's because, I don't know, do they just not know any better? It's because it's just so hammered into them their entire lives that they can't get past that. It's amazing to me. Chris, here's something I forgot to send to you. I just saw yesterday, and I can't believe it, but it's right in line with what we're saying right now is, just because somebody's a financial advisor or managing money doesn't mean they're necessarily good at it, right? And let me give you an example. This just came out that the Florida State Board of Administration retirement system, which is what the teachers' retirements are ran through and other public people in the state of Florida retirement system, they just reported a 327.8% increase in ownership of GME. So this state retirement system is buying shares of GME, and their average share price is $202. Just think about that, Chris.
I don't even want to go anymore. I can't even.
So these teachers that already get shit on, right? Now that they're trusting their retirement, and all of a sudden their retirement advisors are buying GME. It doesn't matter what field you're in. You have to control your own money. Craziness.
That right there, I didn't read that. That is right there. Okay. When I was in the Wall Street world, that's the kind of shit that I saw the mutual fund companies do. That's the stuff that I saw the third party administrators that make all the big dollars, the guys that are the smartest, idiots in the room. That's what they were doing. Just chasing the freaking highest, the biggest winner, right? Is that how you make money? No, you do the opposite. Glenn made a post earlier and he said, do the exact opposite of the average person. That might be the best advice that we're going to be able to give you today on What the F. Do the exact opposite of what the other people are doing, and you'll probably have a much better chance of making money. If you don't know what to invest in, don't invest. But let's jump to a different one.
Yeah, and hey, Chris, a good transition away from crypto on a kind of a lighter topic while we're doing that. Pull up that Futurama on the SpaceX article real quick.
Oh my God, that's right where I was going. Dude, we think alike, man. That's exactly where I was going. This is freaking killer.
Yeah, this kind of just kind of closes it down because it says SpaceX launching satellite to display billboard ads in space. You'll be able to purchase advertising space using Dogecoin.
SpaceX is launching satellites to display billboard ads in space. I can't do the share. I got to figure that out on a Mac. That's pretty interesting. I mean, hey, listen, here's another thing. Like, we talk about like pie in the sky stuff here sometimes. Like, you hear about these meteorites that zip around out there in space, right? Between the moon and Earth or even further out. There's all these meteorites. Some of them are very small, but do you realize that some of these meteorites contain enough ore and gold and different like minerals in that one meteorite that is worth more than the entire world economy or the entire world monetary system? Do you realize one small meteorite has more value in it than the entire world financial system, or however you want to put it? So do you think maybe Elon or Bezos or one of these other cowboys are thinking about finding a way to create a spaceship, kind of like a spaceship with like a big, like thing on it, like a tracking beam? If we want to really think about when we were kids, it goes up there and like sources out one of these meteorites, goes as fast as it, grabs that sucker, brings it back home. And now they've got a meteorite with enough iron or something else worth more than the entire, I mean, listen, like, that's crazy stuff, but is it? They're putting billboards in space.
Like, hey, the space is becoming more and more and more of a thing for sure. I mean, the space, between Bezos and Musk and these guys that are trying to get to space, that's definitely, but guess what they're doing now, Chris? I know you can't pull it up, but let's go over to the article. Billionaire-backed mining firm to seek electric vehicle metals in Greenland. So this kind of goes on topic with what we've been talking about. Sorry, with the last couple of weeks with Tesla and whatnot, how, is it really best for the environment, because of these electric car batteries that fill up landfills and they only have a certain amount of life? Well, now they're wanting to go in and pillage Greenland for its national resources. And this is backed by Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. So until they can get their spaceship and rockets into space and get these meteors, they're going to pillage the U.S. to be able to produce these cars. So it brings up several topics. Like, if billionaires are able to control the conversation, Jeff Bezos owns one of the largest papers in the world in the Washington Post. And what does the Washington Post do? They talk all about progressive green policy and getting rid of fossil fuels and all these, independent or all these climate control reports that came out. One came out this week and made it sound like it was doom and gloom and we're all going to die if we don't make all these drastic changes. And it just makes you question, because the very ones that are behind all of this are the ones that are profiting trillions and trillions of dollars from all of this. So it always, to me, goes down to follow the money. So are they doing that for a good thing? Are they doing that for ulterior motives? What do you guys think? I mean, what does everyone think on here?
Well, Lynn said Greenland should just say no. Yeah, because anyone ever seen, like, I'm an ex-pro snowboarder, and, some things happen in Greenland. I want you to think about Greenland. It's probably one of the most beautiful places on earth, if you ask me. It's just spectacular. I'm looking at photos online right now, which I wish I could share, but Greenland's beautiful. Right. And I got billionaires going in, literally stripping the earth, the beauty, to get minerals and to get all this stuff. And there's a company called Blue Jay Mining. It's the ticker's JAY.L. And if any of you, are like, oh, well, that's probably a good opportunity to buy that, you're feeding into it. But yeah, just right on that. Shares in Blue Jay Trading were 26% higher on this news. Investor confidence, that's speculative. The license holds metals such as nickel, copper, cobalt, and platinum, and the funding will cover evaluation and initial drilling. Listen, you can hate it. You can hate the pollution in the oceans. You can hate all the things going on out there. But, until the billionaires actually take a stand and do something good for the world, then this stuff's going to happen. But it's not. It's greed, and more greed. Like, do you realize, if Bezos, Musk, and a couple of the other billionaires got together to solve world hunger, or literally end, I want to say end, trafficking, sex trafficking, they probably could. But no, they want to put their money toward making more money, stripping the earth of its minerals so that they can make more products, so they can build more cell phones, so they can do all these things. And listen, I don't really have a take on that.
Right.
I really don't, but it's not good. We are literally destroying the earth for greed and for more things when we could solve problems. And, like with what Stephen and I do with the money multiplier and all of our teachings, we give it all away for free in the effort to solve people's problems. If you want to be successful, people, go out and solve people's problems. If you own a business, you're in the business of solving other people's problems, not your problems. Your problems, your things that you want, those only get solved when you solve other people's problems. So I'll get off of that one and we'll get back into it. But yeah, like Greenland, I mean, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Right now, when you look at the overall stock markets, this is what the F happened in the markets. When you look at the overall stock market, you are one domino going down away from a complete collapse. There is no backbone right now to the markets. It is a house of cards like I've never seen it. It is even a bigger house of cards than it was in 1926 to 1929. Fundamentals out the window. Listen to Warren Buffett. Listen to him talk. Read The Intelligent Investor. You want to do something? You want to become the best investor you can be? You're one book away from it. Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor. Mark it down. Write it down right now. The Intelligent Investor is a must read if you're serious about investing. If you read this book, The Intelligent Investor, you more than likely will buy absolutely no stocks right now because you will not be able to find a stock that meets the criteria of what Benjamin Graham and Warren Buffett would call a buy. Why is Warren Buffett not buying anything? How many of you remember 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, when every day Warren Buffett was in the news buying some other giant stockpile of stock or, a share in a company? It was every day. When's the last time you heard Warren Buffett buy anything? Why? But yet all of you are plowing your money into Robinhood, opening these accounts. This is the new wave. This is the millennial wave. Robinhood targets millennials like cigarette companies used to target children. And they're doing it successfully. And they're getting millennials to plow tons of money into the markets because they're basically providing what they think is the cool investment platform. Don't invest through Robinhood. It's dog shit. Invest through TD Ameritrade or Schwab or one of the reputable ones out there that actually are good platforms. Robinhood has so many problems, you don't even know it. And I'm not here to talk and pump up TD or Schwab or any of the big guys that have been around a long time. I don't like them either. But there's always a reason for things. And Robinhood, hopefully some of you bought Robinhood stocks. I would have said that probably would have been a good buy. It might not be now because they actually had to halt trading on it. That was insanity. But I don't know. A lot of people are asking, well, what should we do? When is it going to crash? Is this stock going to crash? I can't give you individual stock advice. That's not what this is about. This is to talk about the week in review and what's going on. But I think the big thing that people really need to start doing is start doing it really, really quick. Stop making excuses. Start taking control of their money. Start getting a handle on what they're after and what their risk tolerances are. Because if you think your advisor knows your risk tolerances, call them up and ask, hey, you remember I said that I'm a little risk averse and I'm really scared of what's going on right here. Did you make any trades, any moves? Have we sold anything? No, I bought more. You bought more? Why? Well, it was a good buy. I bought more. No, they didn't buy more. Chances are the third-party administrator they hired, or not administrator, third-party manager is buying more. You don't know what you don't know, folks. And that's the problem. The problem isn't what you don't know. A lot of people don't invest their own money because they're like, I don't know how to invest. That's not the problem. The problem is that you think you know what you don't know. And what you think you know is that you're not smart enough to manage your own money, which is exactly what they want you to think. It's exactly what you've been taught your whole life. You're not smart enough to manage your own money. You got to give that up to somebody else. Give up that control to somebody else. Let them manage your money and let them charge you a fee and let them take you on the roller coaster ride. Really look very closely at what you're doing today. Have a meeting with your advisor. If you haven't already had a meeting, have another one. Or if you have already had a meeting, have another one. And if you haven't met with your advisor, get on the phone today and call them up and set up a meeting, even a Zoom, and ask them, what are your thoughts about the markets? And should we pull back and take some gains off the table? And if they say no, you need to really, really look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I with the right person? Because I don't know how else to tell you. I'm not managing your money. Don't call me. I don't manage people's money. So therefore, I'm giving you the truth because I got nothing to gain from this. This What the F Happened show, we're not making money on this. We're just out here talking, having fun, ranting, raving so that you can learn. That's it. It's called giving, folks. And, Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. But a lot of people want to focus on what they want before they help other people get what they want. Does that make sense?
I think we're winding down, man. We've made some good topics today.
That was fun. That was fun.
Man, time flies by on these. That's for sure.
My face got a little bit red. I love it.
Time flies by on these. That's for sure.
All right. If you like that video, make sure you check out this video right now. And also don't forget, subscribe to my channel and don't ever forget to smash that alert button. We'll see you on the next one.